Hey, EdReach listeners. If you enjoy the EdReach shows and you subscribe via iTunes, go ahead and rate us on iTunes. For a shortcut, go to edreach.us/subscribe and click on your favorite shows. Thanks, and thanks for listening and watching EdReach. Enjoy the show. You're watching the EdReach Network.
This is the Google Educast, part of the EdReach Network, giving educators a voice, a big voice. You've reached episode 50 for May 30th, 2012. And now your host, Diane May.
Welcome to the Google Educast, the show where we talk about educational applications for Google products, including news, tools, tips and tricks, and classroom applications. I'll be your host, Diane May. And this week, our group also includes
Sean Williams.
Silva.
Awesome, and hoping to have a guest join us later. Join the Google Educast in a few moments on Google Plus on your Hangout. You can also check out the Google Plus page for EdReach at gplus.to/EdReach, and we're on Twitter at EdReachUS. And first up in the news, we actually have a lot of stuff that was announced this week, or different things that we noticed, and so we're going to push that a little bit into our segment 2 as well. So first up, the Chrome OS has been updated, and there's also announcements about new Chromebook and Chromebox.
Yes.
What do you guys know about this?
I know they leaked to the Chromebox early at one of the stores.
Oh, really? Where was that?
I can't remember the store. It was like a Best Buy or something, but they actually put it out for sale like almost a week early. So somebody got to do the unboxing early, and then they pulled it, of course, real fast.
Oh. Have you looked at all this stuff yet, Sean? Actually, I know that you're. Let me see what it says here.
I've just been trying, reading the, what's rolling out there, and I don't know, I like the idea of a Chrome box, but then I think the price tag is kind of a hang-up on it.
What are they talking about pricing it?
Danny, do you have good numbers?
Yeah, but what they're talking about, it's the first desktop Google is actually releasing that could be used for enterprise, and so that's pretty significant. The other thing is now that's got the Chrome box is going to have the new Chrome OS, which if you're haven't been following that is going to be looking a lot more like a desktop. And so in the show notes, I think you guys post show notes, in the offline editing comes to Google Docs, that also has some information about the new OS included in the Chrome box. And so it looks like the Chromebox is Wi-Fi only edition is $549. It looks like, or is that the Chromebook?
That's the Chromebook, I believe.
Let's see here. So this is also from Ars Technica, and it's not giving me good numbers. Give me Chromebook numbers, but not Chromebox numbers at this point.
Okay. Well, I'm also noticing you had mentioned to us earlier that there may have been an oops early rollout in some of the Best Buy stores, but Best Buy is going to be carrying the Chromebooks that people can go and try out. But also in the United Kingdom, PC World and Curry's stores are going to be carrying them. So that's important for people that may be watching, probably not live, in the United Kingdom, if they're looking to go try out a Chromebook. But so it sounds like the Chromebox is just an added option if people are trying to go with a Chrome OS experience for their computing.
So Engadget has the price at $329 for the desktop system.
I think that's really similar to the number I saw somewhere.
With DVI out, which is kind of cool.
That's cool. And
Fine for desktop, but you could get an Asus or a small PC version for probably about that same price and have a full running desktop at that point. Linux or Windows. Windows would probably run really not very well, but that's the whole point of the Chromebook. It's just basically the web. So I guess the point is do you want to have that option to be able to run extra programs, or are you comfortable just giving somebody a device that is running Chrome OS to keep it secure? And I guess that's where it might be very beneficial to an enterprise solution, because you just drop these on the desk, plug them into a monitor, plug a keyboard and mouse in, and you're done. Because it auto-updates, correct? Chrome OS, you don't have to worry about updating. If you're using Google Apps for your business, it's automatically there. You don't have to worry about installing people's programs or adding stuff and updating those programs either. So the big thing, I guess, for Google would be the total cost of ownership is what they always talk about. Is this would be great for a small business running Google Apps that doesn't have IT staff or doesn't want to pay for IT staff. Because then you just throw this 329 desktop on your desk and away you go.
Cool. Well, I think that's a definite.
Sounds like a pretty good idea there.
Yeah, that's an option for people that are wanting to just get up and go pretty quick. So that's some exciting developments, and we'll have to keep an eye on that and see what people are talking about when they start using those. I'll be interested to see some of the feedback when the people start using the boxes. I happen to notice, I know we've talked about the Google Art project on the show in the past, and there was a really neat blog post, kind of scholarly almost, that, let me get the link here, why the Google Art project is important. And I thought this was really neat because it's actually written by someone who is in the field of art history.
Awesome.
So, you know, it's not just somebody deciding they're going to talk about it. This is someone who, this is their field. And they're talking about ways that you can access art and compare art by the same artist that may in real life be spread out. They give an example of 3 different versions of a Van Gogh, his bedroom, that actually were painted at different times and that exist in different places. And then you could compare the same artwork, but it's like different versions that Van Gogh painted. So I thought that was kind of neat, and thought it would be nice to follow that up later.
So that's kind of besides more than just getting into the museum kind of aspect of it, but actually getting into the art history.
Yeah, and I just thought it was neat. They're talking about, let's see, schools and libraries being radically reimagined for the digital age, but then this now adds museums into that. So as information is becoming more accessible to just anybody from home or from school or from work, now they're adding this. Now, disclaimer, this is in conjunction, this person who's writing this, with Khan Academy. So they are kind of talking about their slant on that, but I kind of feel like that's pretty cool there's just all this art that's available online.
It's very
art should be as free as possible.
Well, and this kind of ties into one of the other things we have on our notes is the Wonders Project. And so Google's whole idea is to preserve culture and to be able to give that culture widespread around the world without having people to go to it, right? And so not everybody can make it to a famous museum in Paris or in Spain or wherever. And so that gives everybody the opportunity to see these works of art, personal. You know, it's not in person, but it's definitely make it personal. Because when I worked at LeGrand High School, I showed this off to our art teacher why it was still kind of it wasn't the Google Art Project at that time. It was where you could actually go into Google Earth and look at the museum, the Google Earth. I forgot what that project was called, and he couldn't believe the detail and how close you could get, because in person you couldn't even get that close to the painting, right? So
Yeah.
it's almost actually better in some ways for studying brush strokes and things like that, and if you're in the art history part of it. But as far as, I think Google's main thing, like I was saying, I think is mainly to, one, to preserve that culture, and two, to be able to bring it to the masses, kind of basically back to their mission statement.
It is, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
Some of the museums that you can go to, you can actually zoom in and, like you were saying, see how the paint is built up on a picture. But then there's also, I was in a session, Jim Silva was talking about it, and he showed an example where you were zoomed in and could see, like, what was going on in the background of a painting, which really spoke about what was happening at the time and all that, which was really cool. And you'd never get that close in an actual museum, or with everybody around you have the time to really take it in and be like, hold on a second, I just want to see what they're doing back there, you know?
Yeah.
You'd be arrested before you could get that close.
Exactly.
Well, and one of the things that struck me, I grew up pretty close to New York City, so I'd been to the Met a bunch of times. But then when my husband moved here from another country, he was really shocked at how expensive it is to go to museums, because in Britain they usually have open days like once a month, and you can go, and there's all kinds of opportunities to go, and he was shocked at how expensive just to go to like San Jose Museum of Art, which is like not one of these I mean, no offense, San Jose Museum of Art, but it's not people aren't flocking here from all over the world to go to it. But it's ridiculously expensive to go to museums. You have to take advantage, like at San Diego's Balboa Park, of some kind of like a day pass and go into multiple museums in a day, or do a multi-day pass. And it's expensive. It's a lot of money. And so, you know, Sean mentioned this idea of getting culture more accessible to more people. If it's expensive for working people like ourselves, then what about people who just don't have the funds at all? They just don't get to have culture. So I like that, you know, you can go to your public library, you can get online, you can start looking for stuff, and you're going to see real artwork. And I that's why I'm behind things like Wikipedia and a lot of the efforts that Google's making to bring all that information and that culture and everything right to everybody.
Sure, and I don't know if you guys stick completely to your show notes, but I'm going to segue that into the World Wonders Project, which is basically the same idea as the Google Art Project.
I just shared this with my students today, and they were blown away.
Yeah, it's not, instead of just works of art, now it's historical sites.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's great that, again, it's Google's mission of organize the world's information and make it universal.
Make it accessible.
Right? And so now not only are you just getting information, you also are getting the works of art, culture, history, everything from all over the world, and make it accessible to anybody anywhere at any time. And I really love the design of the page. I mean, it has some things to be desired. I'm sure people could nitpick it, but there's so much good stuff on that page, on that Google Art Project page. And what did they not forget? They did not forget us teachers, and they actually have a tab that I believe either says teachers or educators. I think it says teachers, and you have downloadables to use for teacher guides from elementary school all the way up to high school. So I love that, and it's one of those things. I think there's a few things that are missing. I'm wondering how they pick certain areas and not others to start with, but they definitely have mentioned in the video. If you go to the YouTube, they have their own YouTube channel. There's only 3 videos. They have basically the commercial for Wonders. They have behind the scenes, and then they have kind of the why they're doing it. And so it kind of gives you all 3 backgrounds. They're pretty short videos. They're interesting, though, to watch. And it sounds like they're going to completely keep going all over the world with this.
Well, yeah, I think this is, like, we can kind of pick at it right now, but I think it's totally a work in progress. And
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And
off to such an awesome start.
Sure, and so for one of the things that I thought was, and this is just being an American, I picked out very quickly was the fact that, and you could see it one of two ways, is historical site. They have Hiroshima, a tower that was.
Oh, the peace memorial, right?
Yeah, actually, it's a building that's basically one of the only buildings that was left.
Wow.
I mean, but Pearl Harbor's missing. It's not a historical site. So I would be like, well, why isn't Pearl Harbor there? But I'm sure they had to pick some place.
I'll get you a juice.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. We just got show bombed. Awesome.
That's awesome.
Usually it's Sean's dog, so don't worry about it.
It's funny. She got a juice.
And that's totally in the show notes, too.
Yeah.
So the
plan that.
other thing that this goes together with is this is all about the art. This is all using Google Maps technology, right? And Street View technology. The art project is using Street View technology, and so is this world. What is it called?
World Wonders. Yeah.
And if you
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you look at some of the stuff, I hear a lot of people complaining about Chromebooks and how you can't use Google Earth on Chromebooks. But if you start looking at some of this stuff, you can see how Google is going to slowly roll all the Google Earth things right into the browser.
Into the browser, yeah.
Well, and there's the Earth viewer for Maps now, so you can get a lot of the content through Maps anyway. That's becoming such a blended tool now that it's not. We talk about Maps versus Earth, and it's getting harder to talk about that because they're blending more. And remember, educators, just because there's a PDF does not mean you have to print it. But yeah, I was just looking at that, and Iron Bridge Gorge is a place in Shropshire, England, where my ancestors came from, the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. So I'm like, that's in there. Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Cool.
Leaving that tab open for later.
Wow, there's so many ways you can play right off of that.
Well, I love that this makes possible some field trips for places that don't get to go on field trips anymore. And like Independence Hall is in there. That's one of the places we actually go on our East Coast trip when our 8th graders go from my school. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Well, I love anything that's geography tie-in. Speaking of location-based, we're going to kind of go back in order to Google Plus Local.
Yeah.
Have you guys been working with this? So Google Places is gone. Google Plus is where local searching is gonna be based. Sean, have you used this at all, or have you been playing around with this?
I just discovered it like last night or the night before, and was like, check that out. I think it's kind of cool. I haven't used it that much though. Have you checked it out and played around much, or?
No, but you can tell the screenshots on the post on that search engine land site are from yesterday because it's got the Fabergé eggs doodle up there in the corner. I like that they're searching for burgers near Seattle, so I'm like, oh, yeah, I want that.
So basically, if you had a place mark for your business or place or school or wherever, that went away, and now they actually automatically made you a Google Plus page for that location. That makes sense?
Yeah. So this looks like it's got a lot of the sort of the functionality of like a Yelp, and I know they're involving Zagat.
Sure.
So the ability to rate restaurants and to find places. This is fantastic for people who are traveling.
So one of the things would be, if you go to Google Plus and search for a business, it'll give you that place now. In Maps, you still have the places, but if you click on that place now, I was just searching for a hotel. So if you search for a hotel in a location, let's say Hilton, Palm Springs. I don't know if there is even a Hilton in Palm Springs.
I think there is.
There is.
Don't we use it every year at the at the big conference that you helped plan, Danny?
Yeah, the QCon. it kind of ties all into the knowledge graph as well, because it pops up the side and it gives you an overall rating. So go ahead and just do a search in regular Google search for Hilton Palm Springs.
I did something else. I searched for gay bars near San Jose.
Sure.
Sean Bricks came up first.
Great place.
So here's my selected window here. So if I did and so now you can see that here on the knowledge graph part, I can see the Hilton Palm Springs. It gives me the overall rating. So here's where the Zagat reviews come in. So the 13 Google reviews. And guess what happens when I click on that? It takes me to their Google Plus page for that place. It gives me their reviews. It gives me about. It gives me photos. I can upload my own photos. I can also write a review right from here. I can search different ways. And again, right in the middle is my Zagat score that we're talking about. So there's lots. Basically, they're bringing in the Google Plusification of maps and places at that point. But it still looks the same on maps.
Danny, you were saying that even if Hilton Palm Springs didn't create that page, Google Plus is populated.
Correct. So I'm not positive if Hilton Palm Springs has updated this, because there's some really nice photos in here, as you can see across the top. But this could be, if they created a place page, that place page, they grabbed all the photos that they have uploaded and everything, I believe, and now turned them into those photos that go across the top. And then I'm not sure how you get to, it says right here on the side, is this your business? Manage this page. So you could actually then somehow get control over that page and then make it more personable for your business at that point. So, cool.
Yeah, very cool. I was just checking out, because I live in a pretty small town, really. It's on the outskirts of Orange County and stuff. And I was noticing that this place, which I know they don't have a Google Plus presence, but all of this came up for them because they do have a really limited website. But it looks like Google Plus pulled the images off the website and maybe some Yelp reviews and put it all together here.
And Sean, it found your location for you like it did for me, right? Did it specify your town?
It put me in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that because it put me in San Jose, but that's not surprising. I'm in a bigger city.
Yeah, no, it put me in Los Angeles, and then I was able to pare it down. Usually, Google's pretty good at guessing my location based on servers and whatnot. But
so I would imagine it's probably pulling from their website, is my guess, like you said.
Those are the pictures from the website. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is people, if you had a place, I believe you could upload your own photos if you had a Google Place beforehand. That went into Maps. It was a Google Maps thing. So I wonder if that pulls from there as well. But I think I agree with Sean. It's mainly just it's basically a Google search, and it's finding the images that are tied to that domain or that site. So that's kind of cool. It'd be fun to. I wonder how a school would work.
Yeah. Who's writing the reviews? Do we know?
That's anybody.
Like who? Like, are they pulling reviews from other places on the web already, or?
This place that I was looking at.
As Christian schools, yay.
The place that I was looking at, I know that they have some Yelp reviews, and I think that's where they're getting these from.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. I know for a fact that one of the reviews for my school comes from Yelp because I wrote it.
So I did a search for my old school, and the reviews are coming from greatschools.org.
Yeah, actually I've written one of those too. So.
And so.
Oh, that's interesting. I just searched my old school, and strangely enough, nothing comes up.
Really?
They're hiding under the radar there. That's interesting.
Interesting.
But
not everything has. I think you had to have a place page or a place mark in Google Maps, and that transferred over into Google Plus page.
So I'd
Makes sense.
imagine there's going to be a lot more stuff that ends up in there.
Yeah, if you did not have that place mark, you did not get a Google Plus page. So your schools probably don't have that Google Plus page yet, right?
Oh, but Google will find them.
Yeah, but you know what? Public schools, I think, are less likely to than private schools because private schools are putting themselves on the map.
Correct.
Because they
True.
rely on enrollment. Yes, that's the word I couldn't remember. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see.
Should we start talking about offline editing for Google Docs?
Yeah, I want to know more about offline editing. It's coming in June. Now, tomorrow is June where I live, so I want to know, like, how much June are we
But
going to
in the
wait?
Central Valley where Danny lives.
So this is a life hacker article, but Sean, why don't you scroll to the bottom of the article and go ahead and click through to the Ars Technica link, because that's got the meat. It's right there at the end of the article.
I see it.
And so that has some really cool stuff and really cool information. The first part talks about the Chrome box. But if you keep scrolling down, it talks about offline Google Docs editing and Google Drive integration. And so what's really cool is your offline Google Docs will also integrate with Google Drive, and I think it talks about it in this article. The Google Drive will also now integrate with the newer Chromebooks and newer Chromeboxes. Will automatically store that information on your Chromebook as well.
Nice.
But I'm wondering how I've not seen this right now. Drive integration is built into the Chrome OS development release and will hit stable channels. Because Chromebook contains 16 gigabyte solid-state disk capacity, users' drive files will be cached locally. So this is a little bit strange for me, because one of the things about Chromebooks and one of the selling points about Chromebooks was the fact that nothing is stored locally.
Yeah.
So and that was for security reason, because now you don't have that. But now, if you do that, I wonder if they have an off switch. Because now once you use a dock, and if you have offline turned on, I guess that would be your off switch. You either have offline on or off, and if you have it on, then it's going to be cached locally on your device, and somebody could possibly have access to it. Now, I don't know how much it's encrypted on your device or something, but that would be a question I would want to know as an enterprise person. But as a school person and as a student using a device, I don't think that's a big deal. I guess if your superintendent was using this for personal files and things like that, then you might have another issue about storing, locally or not. But so that's one of the interesting things. Then if you scroll down a little bit further, Chrome OS now with more windows.
Yeah.
So this is if you are running a Chromebook. So here I have one here. I'm going to throw that up there real quick. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but there is the normal Google OS interface.
Yeah.
But we can quickly make it look more like a desktop version.
Oh, I saw this.
And so I can actually completely go away from there, and now I think I froze. I don't know if you're seeing it.
Yeah.
You can see the desktop. I got almost like a dock in Mac, so I can launch that window back open. I also have all my apps I can bring up that looks really similar to Launchpad.
Yeah, it does.
And if I go full screen, I can go full screen with this to make it look more like Chrome OS again. If I go all the way down to the bottom, what happens? Oh, wait, my dock pops open.
I love this old school screen sharing that you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm going to share my screen. Holds it up.
Kind of fun. And you also have, you can do, there's a nice button for, you can do multiple windows, which you could do in OS before, but it was a little bit clunky. But now this is a little bit smarter in doing, split windows. You can make windows smaller and stuff like that. So there's some cool new things. But to do that, to be able to see that right now, you have to be running the Aurora interface, which is the dev channel. And so you have to get into your settings and change it to the dev channel, which is the unstable channel. So if you're up to it, go for it, and it'll take you a few minutes. Download the new OS and restart, and you'll have a fun desktop.
That's awesome.
Well, that's cool.
And
So,
there's some other cool information on that site, but I don't know if we need to get into it.
well, no, that I saw that there's a lot of sort of subheadings on that, the one Ars Technica site that's talking about a lot of the new developments. That's pretty cool. People might want to follow that up. Danny, if you want to put that link in the show notes.
It actually is already. It's right
The
after,
Ars Technica one?
Yeah, it's right underneath the Lifehacker link.
Oh, okay, cool.
So take a look at them.
Excellent. And then there's one other thing I happened to notice on Google Plus earlier, and that was 20 reasons to switch to Google Plus. Actually, Sean, I think you shared this, and that's how I saw it. It's an infographic, and of course we love the Hangouts, and that's one of the items mentioned here. But it's nicely done. It talks about a lot of what you guys have already been talking about with how easy these things are. They're integrated so well, and then if you're using Chrome, it's a no-brainer. Less bloat than Facebook, better game implementation, but most of us don't care about that, I guess.
Somebody posted today. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was like, just phrased it way better than I'm going to right now, but said that if I could get my family to come over to Google Plus, I'd just walk away from Facebook.
Interesting.
So it's still more than 2/3 male on Google Plus, though.
Really?
Yep, according to the little mini portion of the infographic at the bottom. 69.3% male, 29.3% female, and then the tiny sliver of other. So choosing not to state. I'm not impressed either with the top 5 Google Plus users based on number of followers.
Who's that?
Well, Britney Spears, Snoop Dogg, Larry Page, Ashley Tisdale, and Hugh Jackman.
Well, that's because they have to have the right?
They have to have what?
The celebrities are always going to be in there, and they're always going to be tops because your average person, which is not us, and I'm not saying that we're elitist, but I'm just saying we're techie people. We're a little bit different in our mindset of how we use tools like Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter compared to the average person on the street who are more into it or finding out what the celebrities are doing, and that's why there's a lot more normal people, I guess you could call them, than us people. And of course, those people are going to be following the masses, right?
I suppose, but Danny, you're stumbling over whether we're normal or not, and I feel a little awkward about it.
I'm fine. I'm a geek, and I.
Well, I'm not normal, but
I'll embrace that with Danny.
Yeah.
I really like number 19. I think they nailed it on that one. Being able to mute a post.
Yes. You can do something like that with Facebook, but yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know what else I like a lot about Google Plus over Facebook? If I decided that I wanted to just drop a bunch of people that I have on Facebook, I have to go to each one individually and drop them. With circles, I can move a bunch of people into a circle I call get rid of these people, and then I can delete the entire circle at once.
Okay, and then did you know, and I got to remember how to do it because I haven't messed with it because I've never really wanted to, but you can also tune a circle.
Yes, you can have it be like show everything from the circle and kind of show just some stuff from this circle. I like that.
So if you click on that actual circle, you can just there's a little slider, and so you slide that.
A small burger?
Yeah.
Oh, I love sliders.
So let's see if I can pull that up for you.
That was just because Danny was like, I don't know how close you guys stick to your show notes.
Okay, so right here, up at the top by the settings, the gear, you can, so EdTech is my most prominent one I want to follow.
Dial us up, Danny.
I can dial you guys up to see everything from the stream, or because I really don't want to hear from any of you, I just want to shout at you, I could turn it all the way down, right?
We're used to it.
You got the power.
So it's kind of cool. So, you know, if you follow some photographers, sometimes they can be really, sometimes they just blast a bunch of photos all at the same time. And so they'll just clog your stream. You could turn your photography circle down, and then you don't have to worry about it, right? So that's kind of...
I hate when photographers clog my stream.
Yeah. Not even know where to go from now on, right?
So, okay.
Where do we go from here?
So we go to segment 2. If we have anything to say about fun things that people might not know how to do in Calendar, but maybe not.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Danny, what do you think?
You
Can you show us one cool thing, Danny?
Okay. I have to use this because I talk to so many people from around the world, and I'm not bragging on that. It's this is something I
Show
do.
us a sexy calendar tool, Danny.
So here's something that you can go into. So here's my day view. You can also see it in week view. You don't get to see it in month view. So I'm going to stick with day view for you here. So you can see I have 2 different time zones here. And that is great. So like when I was getting ready and we were planning for the Google Teacher Academy in London, I put one timeline as London and one timeline as my time zone, and I could always then see when I needed to talk to people over there to plan, I could see if it was the middle of the night or not and see if I was messing with them. So I go to settings, and right here under current time zone, I can just say add an additional time zone, and then I can choose from a huge list. I can even give it a label. So this one is now set at Eastern. So I could switch that to London, and so I could say New York. Go down and save, and now that is actually called New York time zone. So there you go. So that's a nice little trick. So now you can see when you're scheduling stuff with somebody that you might be working with across the country or around the world.
That is pretty handy.
I didn't know about that.
I didn't realize that either. I know that the thing you have on the right there that's like dark shows the different times currently. I knew about that. I think Batcher showed me that.
That's the world clock. So
world clock.
Everything that's dark is nighttime, and everything that's light is daytime, and I can quickly see all the times as well. But that's great for if you if you want to give somebody a call real quick, you can see what time it is. But if you're trying to plan something, that you still have to figure it out. Okay, if it's 7 o'clock here, what time is it there? And so this makes it very easily for scheduling stuff and scheduling a meeting and not interfering with what they're doing.
Does anyone know why I have India in mine?
Because you love Indian food.
I do, but I don't have to go there for it because it's breakfast time over there.
I think they
go
just come by default, so you can change it. Here's your settings, and you can choose which ones you want, and you just take those out. So the other way to do that, I think everybody knows, is if I'm adding a new event and I go into Edit, I can actually set that event for a particular time zone. By default, it is only United States, but then I can say I can change from the country if I want to, and change it to that time zone. So that's another way. If you don't want to have, if you're scheduling from the month view and you're not sure, you can always check on here. But it doesn't tell you the time of the other event. It just lets you schedule it for that event for that time. So let's say you're going to have a meeting in Hawaii.
I wish.
At 7 a.m. You don't really care, and you're going to Hawaii. You just don't really care what time it is in your time zone. You could set that up, and whenever you save that event, it will automatically change to your time. So
okay, smooth.
That makes sense. So in my time zone, it says it's 10:30, but in Hawaii it was 7:30. So that's another way of doing that.
I just added the East Coast and named it Mommy
Mommy.
to my calendar because that's where my mommy is.
So there's a little calendar tip for you.
That's nice. See, I knew you'd tell us stuff we didn't know. I didn't know one of those things, so that's cool.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yay. So that was not an in-depth look, but we,
Definitely a cool tip.
Yes. So moving on to tips and tricks, speaking of which, I just happened to notice on Google Plus yesterday, the day before, somebody mentioned the define search term, but also, actually it was Google search or something, their account, and I've been using that like crazy. Like every time a kid asks me what a word means, I say open another browser in Chrome and type this, define, : no space, whatever word you're looking for. But what I like about it is there's also pronunciation. So if you go look up
that's
a
very
word, the one thing that's kind of not as awesome, like I'm just going to define purgatory because one of my students asked about it today. You may be wondering why, but they're studying the Renaissance. So
sure.
She's learning about Martin Luther, and she asked me like, what is purgatory? I don't get it. And then you guys can't hear this, but there's a very enthusiastic man saying purgatory, and in like announcer voice. So now let me look up something else, since you can't hear it. Oh, it won't look up bad words. Never mind.
Oh, nice. We're professional here.
Let's try this one. Nope.
So it does the announcement for you, and it tells you how to pronounce it.
Yes, there's a little speaker thing that you can click on, and a man goes, purgatory, or whatever you looked up.
Along that same line, let's say your student is a horrible speller, and I have this problem once in a while with some words, and no matter what I do, I can't get the word close enough to even have Google get the word right for me. You know, it auto-suggests you, do you really mean this? So another way to do that is you click on the microphone in the search bar, say the word, geography, and guess what Google does for you? It automatically puts that into the search bar and tells you how to spell it. So it'd be a cool way for students to quickly get a word maybe they're having problems with spelling correctly.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it right now. Leopard. I only say that because a first grader yesterday, asked me how to spell leopard, and I don't spell words for them. I tell them to try it, and I'm like, okay, that one you're not going to be able to figure out. So I'm like, it looks like leopard. And he just looked at me like, what? And I was like, start by me. Just go with me. But this was in Word because they're not in apps yet. But, yeah, I mean, I like the idea of making it as accessible as possible for as many people as possible. I'm going to define leopard while we're at it. Define. Because I want to hear the enthusiastic guy say, leopard. Here he goes. Oh, it's a different guy.
They changed up on you.
Mm.
So, I shared this a while back because I just happened to find this roll out. But I think they actually have some cool, they've actually rolled this out to everybody now. So if you do a search for an equation, y equals 1/2 x minus 3, you now get a graph, and you can actually find out where you are on the number line, zoom in and out, things like that. So it's kind of cool.
It's very cool.
It will define snarky, but it doesn't give me the option of enthusiastic man saying snarky. Now, what am I typing in here? Y equals 1/3. What? 1/2. I'm crap at math. Minus or x minus 3. What is the slope? Yeah, I like that. Smooth.
Cool. So
awesome. I never had to really learn this stuff then, huh?
I'm going to go back to our Wonder Wheels thing, and
wait.
You're bringing back the Wonder Wheel?
Not Wonder Wheel.
World Wonders Project.
World of Wonder.
Wonder
World
Wheels.
of Warcraft.
All of a sudden, everybody's like, Wonder Wheel's coming back?
World Wonders.
So I'm going to screen share real quick, and so if you post something on Google Plus, and let's say you get some good feedback from it, or a lot of people resharing. So I think you guys might have talked about ripples before.
Talk to us about ripples.
Yeah.
So if you look at a post and you click on the time, you can see that's an actual hyperlink, and it brings you to the separate, just that post. And the disclaimer is it has to be a public post. If it's limited in any way, it won't work. If I go to View Ripples, I can see the ripples that it has, and so you can actually see.
Sean, thank you for sharing it so I can find back my way to what Danny's sharing right now.
I actually have a bigger ripple than Google Switzerland at this point for a Wonder World project. You can zoom in and out. It's kind of like, almost like Street View a little bit.
Dude, your ripple is massive.
And I can actually watch the ripple play.
Wait, how did you do that? You clicked on the time? It's not working for me.
So let me go back. I'll
The
show
time
you.
slider?
So see the time slider? I can actually see.
Oh, wait, view ripples. Never mind.
Yeah. So I can play the ripple and see when people shared it. The other thing is it shows you public shares over on the right. And then if you go down, you actually can see even more information about that. You see how many public reshares, stats, things like that, where it's been shared with. So let's say it's something like EdReach Us, Google Educast. You could share that and see how many times it was shared because it knows that link is unique to that post or that website, and so it can track.
That's pretty awesome.
Even if they're not tied together. So it's kind of cool.
Sean, did you share that so you would show up in his ripples?
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't see you yet. But there's an Abraham Williams, your distant cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a little slow, but it still works. So that's kind of cool.
Kind of cool. That's very cool.
I don't think I knew that was there.
It's really fun to check out, like somebody big from Google shares a new update or something, and it gets this blasted to everybody. Those are really fun ripples to check out and watch them actually grow and just blow up. So it's kind of fun. So I'm going to have to get going.
All right. You're going to miss
I got
the
one
fun.
last
You got one last thing?
share, and that is if you haven't, we talked a little bit about offline Google Docs. Well, you got to know it's coming because Google has been releasing a bunch of offline stuff.
Yeah.
And in fact, they now have on the Google Apps or the Chrome Web Store, they have this. One of the collections is offline apps and apps that work offline, and you can tell it's an offline app from the little lightning bolt. And so you can see
nice.
these things that all these apps work offline. And so, wow, there's a ton of them. It's
Oh,
gotten
yeah.
a lot bigger since the last time I looked. So these are all capable of working offline. So just one last little thing I wanted to share before I have to
Hey,
head out.
nice.
And I thank you guys for having me on.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Danny. Always good to see you.
It's been fun. I've been wanting to join you guys for a while, and it took me only 50 episodes to do it.
Well, no, we weren't involved with all 50. There was
Oh,
like a lead-in, and then we jumped in somewhere like 20, 25 episodes in.
And I want to say congratulations for having 50 episodes, because Andrew and I have been doing Small School Big Tech for, I think, 2.5 years now, and I think we're at episode like 47. So,
We got to get Andrew on here next time.
way to hang in
Have
there.
us on your 50th episode. It'll be like a reunion. We'll talk about your ripples.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, there you go. We'll
It'd
definitely
be Small School, Big Ripple.
It might be another
Nice.
month before we get to show 50, but I'll keep you guys in mind, and I'll definitely tell Andrew. So
That's cool.
cool.
That's very cool.
Thanks, guys. I got to
Well,
get ready.
thanks, Danny.
Tomorrow is my anniversary, and I want to make sure I
Happy anniversary to you and Mrs.
night as well. So,
Awesome.
all right. Have a good
Awesome.
one, guys.
Take care, buddy.
Catch you later, man. So, Sean,
Yes, ma'am.
is our guest joining us? Do we know?
I'm starting to wonder.
Oh, sadness.
I sent a couple of invitations, but obviously nothing's happened yet. So I know that she was in a car on a mobile device, not driving, but which is good. But
Hey, whichever dog that was, let's just have her on the show.
yeah, we could have Shasta join us. That'd be pretty awesome.
Shasta Badger! Bring her on. Because it just got awkward now.
Total
that
troublemaker.
Just two of us and no guest. What do we do? Because that was segment 4.
Well, let's see, what's next in the show notes?
Let's talk. That was in the show notes. Let's talk about that cool lamp in the corner of your room there that you're in. That's a nice lamp. Okay, let's see.
Well, thanks.
There was
we did cover
everything except Richard Byrne on his Free Tech for Teachers had a thing about World Wonders.
Yeah, did you put that in there?
I did not, so let's take a look at that.
Okay. Well,
He says the World Wonders Project is a must bookmark site. Larry Ferlazzo alerted him, he's a local boy, to World Wonders Project, and so he's just talking about some of the how it's assembling street view, imagery, Earth's 3D buildings, UNESCO World Heritage information, videos, pictures, all in one page. So it's kind of like they're curating all the existing content related to specific locations, and that's kind of all he's talking about.
Which is kind of, unfortunately, what we kind of already talked about.
We have done that, yes. So,
well, I guess so much for our surprise guest tonight.
Well, you know what? There was a surprise. She's not here.
Sure.
Surprise.
And I have a feeling it's probably my fault because her email address changed, and I was trying to catch up with that. So when I invited her, it might not have worked out right.
Oh. Do you have her new address?
I do, and I tried that, and so I think between that and her being on a mobile device right now,
She's not getting it.
It's just not going to happen.
Okay. Well, how long was the show so far?
Well, I think we're right
about
at time. So.
Okay. Well, you know, that's cool. Let's not forget the upcoming California Google Apps for Education Summit.
Yes.
You can go to ca.gafesummit.com. But on that main website, gafesummit.com, there's a whole lot of other summits coming up. And I happened to notice Wanda Luca was sharing about the Latin America one. I think Becky Evans is going to be at that one. She's with Google Education. So there's a bunch of those app summits coming up, and if you are an educator who's in Maine, right? No, that's all right.
One coming up in Maine. There's one coming up in Colorado. I just found out Aaron Silva is going to be
Aaron Svoboda?
Yeah, is going to be presenting there, and I'm sure Corey's going to be there.
Yeah, I think Corey's involved in that one. I'm going to go to the main summit website and see what I can find here. Let's see. Yeah, Rocky Mountain is actually the next one after California. That's at the beginning of August. Then Maine is going to be in mid-August. Latin America is right at the end of August, beginning of September. Mm-hmm. Singapore in September.
I think Rushton's involved with that one.
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to the Singapore one. And then the Southern Summit is, do you know where that's taking place, the location for that?
I don't know that one yet.
Okay. That might be sort of South Carolina or something, I'm not sure. But that's later in September, and then New Zealand coming in October.
Yeah.
And then also to be announced, they've got dates on the site going through November all the way and through next April, so almost a year out. Boston, Honolulu, Sydney, Tokyo, Dubai, and London, and then some other places at the very, very bottom. And there's even a link. If you wanted to host a summit in your region, there's a link where you can contact the EdTech team to make that a reality and not just a dream. So that's pretty exciting because I think that's a direction a lot of schools are moving. And whenever I talk to people, like at conferences and things, about Google Apps, they're like, I want to do this. I don't know how to convince the people that flip the switches where I work, and I encourage them to get app certified and be willing to pilot apps with their students because that's how people are really going to start to understand how well it works. And I think that if we're not getting kids on the cloud, we're doing them a disservice. And by kids, I mean all learners, not just children. So something to keep an eye on. Hopefully a summit's coming near you, dear listener. But I think that's going to do it for this week of the Google Educast show. Maybe we will be able to get our guest to join us.
We'll try
Danny
and get
Silva,
it come back next time.
Yeah, Danny Silva was also a guest tonight, so thank you, Danny. Go enjoy your anniversary. And don't forget, you should follow @EdReachUs on Twitter. You can also like our Facebook page at facebook.com/edreach, and of course on Google+, gplus.to/edreach. These are all great ways to get the latest blog posts, podcasts, and news coming out of EdReach. And you can shoot us an email at googleeducast@edreach.us if you want to get in touch with our show. And thank you again for joining us. Continue the conversation at edreach.us, and we will see you next week. Ciao.
Perfect.
Good night, Sean. You flipped the
Good
switch
night.
to make it not be online anymore. Bye, people.
Okay.
You're watching the EdReach Network.